benefits of being 28 days alcohol free. How does it feel to be 28 days alcohol free? If you have been doing the Alcohol Free August challenge with me over this past month, we are on day 28, so you are officially 28 days alcohol free. And I'm curious, what are the benefits that you're seeing? Some of the benefits that you might be seeing are less anxiety. You might be feeling calmer. You might potentially be feeling like you have saved some money. You have more energy, and you should hopefully be feeling really proud of yourself and potentially happier, a bit more confidence. Your self-esteem might have grown. You've been keeping promises to yourself. So amazing. So day 28, and I can't believe we're already on day 28. We haven't got long left. And so 4 weeks in, I wanted to give a recap of some of the things that you might be still experiencing. And I just wanted to say that if, for example, your sleep isn't great, if you are still finding that you are really craving sugar, if you are finding you don't want to go out yet and socialise, you're struggling with navigating relationships, if you're finding that you're still feeling really bored, this is all very normal. And although you're 28 days in, there's still so much to experience. So I do hope that you're planning on continuing on this journey, but I don't want you to worry if you're thinking, well, I'm 28 days in and I'm not experiencing all the joys and the fun and the amazing things that everyone talks about, because that's absolutely normal. It takes a little bit of time, but I really want you to feel so proud of yourself that you have done 28 days alcohol free. So some of the things that we've talked about, which I wanted to recap over the past few weeks are, and I want you to keep coming back to these things. So when you're struggling and you're thinking, do I keep going? I'm hoping that you're still going back to your why that you wrote on day 1. And if you're tempted to reach for a drink thinking, well, I've done 28 days now, so I don't need to bother to get to the 31, please continue, keep going, tracking your progress. I'm hoping that will help, and that you've seen the money and the time that you've saved. Taking that pause, as we talked about on day 3, is really important, because when you pause, you do then think about what it is that you really want. What is the feeling that I'm trying to create versus just automatically reaching for a drink? What is the feeling I'm trying to escape for, and what can I do differently? So taking the pause is really important. Nutrition, I hope you've been eating really well. As we talked about on day 4, it was all about how do you eat the right things to help you on this alcohol-free journey, especially when you first stop drinking. And so I hope you've been having your 3 meals a day with protein. And then alcohol-free drinks, one of my favourite topics. We talked about that, hoping that you're swapping those and you've tried a few over the past month, because they do really help. Self-care, are you looking after yourself? Have you been doing a bit of a self-care routine and making sure that you have a bit of a ritual around that, because that's lots of fun. Drinking water, journaling, making a note of how you've been feeling each day. I'm sure you've seen a huge change, and we'll talk about that later on in the week when we get towards the end. But what have you found in terms of journaling, and what have you been feeling? What have you written down? How have things changed over the month? Connection, I hope you have managed to strike up connection. I've spoken to a few of you who are doing it, and you know, I really do think connection and just getting accountability and support is really helpful. So connection was day 9. Day 10, we talked about cravings and managing those cravings. If you did download the EFT tapping video, I'd love to hear how you got on. Emotional freedom technique to help you manage cravings. And as I said, cravings, physical cravings should have gone now. So these are all thoughts. And so these are all thinking about drinking and the thoughts you have around that. So yeah, cravings we can work on. And then day 11, we talked about playing it forward. And so if you have gone out, if you've been brave enough and you've gone out during this month of August, which I hope you have, it hasn't stopped you just because you've not been drinking. I do hope you played it forward and thought about the next day before, you know, when you went out or when you had something planned, which would involve you potentially being tempted to drink. And then day 12, we talked about podcasts and listening to podcasts. Day 13, we talked about gratitude and being thankful and how that helps as well in your day. And again, part of your evening routine. We talked about herbal teas and sugar, and obviously day 15 we were on sugar and the fact that it's completely normal to have those sugar cravings, and that won't necessarily have gone away yet. Sleep is a tricky one. That was day 16. Sleep can be tricky, but hopefully you've been waking up more energized, feeling more alive, alert, raring to go, but you might still not be sleeping very well. That takes a bit of time, so don't worry. And then day 17, we talked about movement. Day 18, we talked about Quitlet. We talked about being kind on day 19, and I do hope you're being kind to yourself. We talked about nature on day 20 and just going out in nature, which was similar then to day 21, where we talked about noticing and really paying attention to the things around you. Day 22, we talked about boundaries and setting those boundaries and really being consistent with that, being, you know, really being aware of what those boundaries are first and foremost for you, and then communicating them, and then also, you know, being consistent when it comes to them and sticking to them. Day 23, we talked about socializing and what that was about. We then talked about boredom on day 24. Day 25, we talked about music and feel-good music and how that can help lift your mood. Day 26, we talked about looking up and just being more present, and, you know, when your child's talking to you, look up from your phone, and, you know, just being able to be present. And then day 27, yesterday, we talked about breathing and breath work and how that is so useful to reduce anxiety and to get you calm, and it's a tool that will help you on your alcohol-free journey. So day 28, I wanted to talk about, obviously give an overview, but also talk about being consistent and persevering and not stopping yet. You know, day 28, you might think, I've done 4 weeks, boom, wonderful. And you might be thinking, well, it's not that bad. I can go back to drinking. I've done what I don't need to get to day 31. I really want you to get to day 31 and beyond. I do think that if you can do 100 days, 90 days, 100 days, that would be amazing. But something else that I love and that I've been doing that you can add to your routine, your morning routine, or in the daytime as well, is juicing. And so if you haven't tried juicing, that is something that is really helpful. A green juice with apples and lemons and ginger plus spinach or kale or broccoli stems, all of those things, put it all into a green juice, and you'll find that will, one, completely reduce any cravings you might have, but also it's just so good for you. And I have a zinger in the morning, which is sort of apple, lemon and ginger, and that just a ginger shot type thing, and that really sets me off for the day. So juicing is day 28, but I want to highlight that this isn't the end of the journey. Keep going, and I know you will see lots of different benefits. We will reflect over the next couple of days on where you are now and where you were before. And then, of course, we're going to celebrate on day 31. So I hope you stick with this journey and you keep going at least till the end of the month. And one thing that I do want to do, as you know, I'm Dupe. I am an alcohol-free wellbeing and transformational coach. I'm also an author and a podcast host. And I have just been on a mission this month to really help you to stay alcohol-free in what could be seen as not the best month to do it, the height of summer. So you've done really well. And to continue on that, I felt really compelled to help you further, because I know if you've been doing this and you've got to day 28, you're definitely thinking maybe I should keep going, but how do I do that? And I'm mindful I'm going to disappear. These lives aren't going to happen every day come the 1st of September. So what I wanted to do was to offer you my online self-paced course, which is a Cocktail of Clarity. And I'm doing a really special offer just to help you if you've been on this challenge, and anyone can get it. So if you are alcohol free at the moment and you are wanting some further tips and tools and practical tools and really to gain more insight around alcohol and becoming alcohol free, and get some things on breath work, on setting evening and morning routines, creating habits, finding passions, managing emotions, looking at your values, setting goals, all of that good stuff. So that is all included in my online self-paced course. And I am currently doing an offer just for you until the end of the month, until the 31st of August. So you can actually get 70% off. So if you are wanting to continue on the journey with me and you'd like to go through the course as a way to continue, and then of course I do offer coaching as well. So I'd love you to also book a ditch drinking discovery call if that's something that's interesting in you, and we can talk about how we could potentially work together from a coaching perspective. But grab the course. It's an amazing course, and it's really going to just keep you on this journey. You'll get to see me every day on the course as well, and it will just help you to stay in the right frame of mind to keep going. So if that's of interest, head to the profile or DM me and you can get the course there. I'm excited for you. I really don't want you to think I've done 28 days and that's it. There's so much more. And so if you've done 28 days, congratulations. You've done amazingly well, but keep going, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.